So, ang i-discuss naman natin ngayon is about circular functions. So, as an introduction, the six trigonometric functions is defined in such a way that the domain of each function is the set of angles in a standard position measured in degrees or radians. For the different circular functions, the domain will be the set of real numbers rather than the set of angles. Now, the circular functions on real numbers. So let theta be an angle in standard position, and p of theta is equal to p of xy, the point on its terminal side on the unit circle. So we now define sine theta is equal to y, cosine theta is equal to x, tangent theta is equal to y over x, with x not equal to 0, cosecant theta is equal to 1 over y, y is not equal to 0, secant theta is equal to 1 over x, x should not be equal to 0, and cotangent theta is equal to x over y, y is not equal to 0. Now, let's have an example. So, for example, we find the values of cosine 135 degrees and tangent theta. So, let's have figure 1. So, we have here your x-axis, your y-axis, and then we have there your ray. There. So, the angle formed is equal to 135 degrees. Again, so from figure 1, we try to draw again another figure on the unit circle. So that is our point A, which is making an angle of 135 degrees. So if we try to drop a perpendicular, we now have a right triangle. Now, 135 degrees is equal to 90 plus 45 degrees. So, it's 135 degrees is actually 45 degrees on the second quadrant. So, which makes it equal to 90 degrees. So, since it's a unit circle, so makikita nyo, the radius is equal to 1. So, the coordinates of this one, yung perpendicular is square root of 2 over 2, yung y, and si x naman is equal to square root of 2. So, from the properties of 45 degree right triangles with hypotenuse equal to 1 unit, the lengths of the legs are obtained, shown in figure 2, based from figure 1. So, that is a is equal to square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. Therefore, the values are cosine 135 degrees is square root of 2 over 2, and tangent 135 degrees is equal to negative 1, since we have square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2. Another example, find the values of sine negative 60 degrees and secant negative 60 degrees. So again, we have our x-axis and our y-axis. We have their circle, and then we have here your radius. So negative clockwise rotation. So let's have that as point B. So again, our radius is equal to 1 unit. So the angle formed is 60 degrees. Now we try to drop a perpendicular. So we now have your right triangle equal to 90 degrees. So the coordinates of your x is 1/2, and the coordinates of your y will be square root of 3 over 2. So how did we obtain this? From our Pythagorean theorem, we made use of 1 unit and then minus 1/2, so we obtain square root of 3 over 2 using Pythagorean theorem. Therefore, sine negative 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Ito po yun. Nasa fourth quadrant, so negative siya. And then second, negative 60 degrees is equal to 1 all over x, which is equal to 1 over negative 1 half, which is equal to 1 times 2 over 1. So we get the reciprocal, so it's equal to 2. Another example, find the exact values of sine 3 pi over 2, cosine 3 pi over 2, and tangent 3 pi over 2. So, solution. We let p of 3 pi over 2 be the point on the unit circle and on the terminal side of the angle in standard position with the measure of 3 pi over 2 radians. Then the coordinates of p, 3 pi over 2 is equal to 0 and negative 1. 3 pi over 2 actually is equal to 270 degrees. So, nasa vertical po siya, yung bandang ibaba ng y-axis. So, sine 3 pi over 2 is equal to negative 1. Cosine 3 pi over 2 is 0. And tangent 3 pi over 2 is equal to sine 3 pi over 2. That is equal to negative 1 all over cosine 3 pi over 2, which is 0. So, we have the value which is undefined. Another example, so suppose a is a real number such that sine a is equal to negative 3 pi over 4 and cosine is greater than 0, meaning it's positive. So find cosine a. Solution, so we consider a as an angle with measure a radians. So we let p of a be equal to the points xy on the unit circle and on the terminal side of angle A. P of A is on the unit circle with equation of x squared plus y squared equals 1. So, ito po yung equation ng circle. Therefore, if sine A is equal to y, which is equal to negative 3 pi over 4, this means that from the equation of the circle, x squared equal to 1 minus y squared. So, this is equal to 1 minus negative 3 over 4 squared, which is equal to 1 minus 9 over 16. Subtracting it from 1, we have 7 over 16. Therefore, extracting the root of this, the value of x would be plus or minus the square root of 7 over 4. Now, since we have cosine A is equal to x greater than 0, cosine is equal to square root of 7 over 4. So, yun po ang value ni cosine. Thank you.